Y'all, I'm telling you, I found the coolest freaking thing ever. What happens when you take one of the best Final Fantasy games ever made, and then you combine it with one of the best Final Fantasy games ever made? Yeah, you get a really freaking cool Final Fantasy game that's like the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. It is Final Fantasy VI Tactics World of Ruin. It's taking Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy Tactics and turning it into its own game. And I want to tell you all about it, and it's totally worth a sub as you come and you join a party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype. It helps me out a ton. So what am I talking about here? This is a ROM hack, and it's not a ROM hack for Final Fantasy VI on the SNES, oddly enough. It's not a ROM hack for Final Fantasy Tactics on the PlayStation 1 either. It's actually a ROM hack for this. Yeah, Final Fantasy Anthology, specifically Final Fantasy VI in the Final Fantasy Anthology. That's what it's actually hacking. So, as a ROM hack, I am not able to link any sort of ROMs or any sort of patches or anything else like this. I don't want to get a channel strike. I don't want to deal with it. However, I can link you to a forum, a message board, and on that message board, you should be able to find everything that you need. So just read the message board and you should be able to figure it out. One thing though, before we do get into what this is all about, I will say this. I had a kind of an issue getting it started myself because I was trying to play it on DuckStation. DuckStation is my emulator of choice whenever it comes to the PlayStation 1. However, this hack is not compatible with DuckStation, at least at the moment. It's only been out for a couple of weeks, so maybe they'll put in a patch to patch the patch, I don't know. But you have to use EPSXE in order to run this. So if you're having issues too, go over to EPSXE, it should run fine. I didn't have any issues with it myself. This hack is a boss rush hack of all the various major boss fights of Final Fantasy VI. So it's not like you're going to be going through every little, tiny mob encounter or whatever, or even going on through and like exploring towns. You're basically just going from big battle to big battle to big battle. It's going to start with the battle at Narsh, where Locke is like protecting Terra with the help of the Moogles. Then it's going to go straight to the fight outside of Figaro Castle, where you're escaping from Kefka and the Magitech armors on the back of the Chocobos. It's going to go straight over to the Sabin fight, so it's going to skip over like the South Figaro portion. It's going to skip over the Mount Colts portion. Going to go straight to the Sabin fight, where Sabin will obviously join your party. Go into the Ultros fight. Go into the scenario system. You'll get Celes, all that kind of stuff. So it goes at a pretty quick clip. So you can actually play through this entire hack in roughly 5 to 7 hours, I suppose. And it mostly does assume that you do know the story. So there is no backtracking here either, because it just goes from boss to boss to boss to boss. There is no grinding. You don't have to grind. You can just go on through and you can play the actual story, which is really, really cool. Another thing, it doesn't actually have all the characters in it. Some characters are missing. Some of them were minor characters. Gao is missing. Realm is missing. But it does have the major characters. You're going to be playing as Terra, Edgar, Celes, Sabin, Shadow, Cyan, Strago, Locke, Mog, and oddly enough, Umaro as well. Yeah, and Bannon joins up as a guest party member because, why not? So each of those party members, they all have their own unique skill sets, but at the same time, they all also have the same magical spells, as if, they just got basic magic spells that they can all use to cover all their bases. So every single person is going to have access to fire, ice, bolt, cure, raise, poison, Asuna, haste, slow, shell, protect, and float. So they're all able to cover all those bases and do things like that. But some characters, Terra and Celes, are going to be able to access more magical spells, and then also have like their own innately learned magic as well. And of course, Terra is going to lean more towards magical abilities, whereas Celes will lean more towards physical abilities. But everybody has, the covering the bases and all that kind of stuff, but everybody also has their own special skills as well. So like Terra is your mage, Edgar is your machinist, your engineer, able to use flash and bioblaster and air anchor and drill and things like that. Sabin's gonna be your monk, Shadow's your ninja, Cyan's your samurai, Locke is your thief, Strago is your blue mage. He's actually able to, learn monster abilities and spells, which is so cool. Mog is your dancer, So everybody has their own unique abilities, but everybody also has magic, and everybody also has the ability to learn every single item. So items are free to learn. You don't have to worry about, getting up JP in order to learn items. Everybody has an innate throw item, so you don't have to worry about that. And everybody has everybody is able to learn every single item as well, which makes healing and protection and things like that just a whole lot nicer. So all you have to worry about is each individual character's skills and leveling them up. So you can't change job classes here. Don't think that this is going to be like Final Fantasy Tactics, where if you're fighting with Locke, eventually Celes will be able to unlock Thief or something like that. Locke will always be a thief, Celes will always be a runic knight. And they will start with, some abilities already learned, but then as you're going on through and you're fighting the battles and all that kind of stuff, they will learn, or they will get more JP, so you can unlock more of their action abilities, but then also unlock more, reaction abilities. Like Celes is a runic at reaction ability, where if she's hit with a low-level spell, she'll hold up her sword and she'll absorb that spell, and she'll gain the MP as well. Or, maybe you want a movement ability for Locke, and you can learn jump +2, or move +2, or something like that. So you can actually go through and you can make sure that everybody does level up nicely. Again, because there is no backtracking, because there are no little trash mobs, there is no grinding, everybody will learn everything. You can get through this at a pretty quick pace, and you also don't have to worry about permadeath, because this is telling one coherent story using all these characters. No one's gonna die. Like, it's not gonna be death after 3 turns or anything else like that. You don't have to worry about permadeath. You don't have to worry about turning into a crystal or turning into a treasure chest or anything else like that. You just have to worry about, going on through the story and checking it out and everything, and it's so cool. And I love this. And wouldn't it be so cool if they did this for, every single freaking Final Fantasy game? Like, imagine a Final Fantasy IV Tactics, where you're fighting the Mist Dragon, and then you're fighting the Baron Soldiers in Kaipa Village, and then you're fighting Octomam in the Watery Cave, or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you're fighting the Ant Lion, that would be so cool. This is such a freaking cool thing. Taking one of the best Final Fantasy games, plus one of the best Final Fantasy games. Yeah, the 2 best Final... I love Tactics. I love it. I just think that this is amazing, and I wanted to bring this to y'all's attention. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this? Are you going to be checking it out? Let me know in the comments. And as always, have a good day.